Hello, everyone. I see a lot of you joining now. Welcome, everyone. We're going to give it just another minute or two to allow everyone to get settled and connected. And while we wait, please feel free to locate the activities icon at the bottom right of your Google Meet screen. It looks like a set of 9 dots or geometric shapes. That is where you'll find the Q&A and poll section. We will be using them later in the webinar. We will be starting shortly, so hang tight. Okay, a very warm welcome to everyone. Let's get started. I'm Aviram Hinenson, the Chief Go-to-Market Officer here at OnceHub, and it's great to see such a fantastic turnout for our webinar today. Just a bit quick housekeeping before we dive in. We have a packed 45-minute session planned. We reserved the final 10 minutes specifically for your questions, and we will run an interactive poll after the product demonstration. As I mentioned a moment ago, look at the bottom right corner at your screen, click on the activity screen, select Q&A to submit question at any time. Don't feel like you have to wait until the end. Please drop them in as they come to mind. Okay, so since we launched booking calendars at the beginning of 2025, the adoption has been incredible. We've watched so many of your accounts grow along the last year, which is truly exciting to see. However, as you've scaled throughout the year, 2 specific questions have come up time and time again. The first one was, as we expand our use of OnceHub platform, what tools will help us scale without adding manual overhead? And the second question, relevant to many attendees in today's webinar, for those who are in regulated industries, how we grow while keeping everything strictly under control. So to answer both of those questions, we developed booking calendar templates, which is a major milestone in how we manage scheduling at scale within the OnceHub platform. To walk us through this important development, I'm joined by our CEO and founder, Rami Gorali. Rami, welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, also for being here today. I'll be spending most of the time in the product, but before we dive into the product, I do want to go over a few slides just to set the scene, give us some background. So before we start, it's good to understand the OnceHub object model. We have booking calendars. Booking calendars are the scheduling engine. You can schedule directly with a booking calendar, and you can also add a booking calendar to a booking hub, to a routing form, or to a chatbot. And when we are coming to scale the setup, improve productivity, we're asking ourselves, how can we maximize the productivity, control, and compliance of our customers who are using OnceHub? The answer to that is to control the scheduling engine, the booking calendars, and to do this via booking calendar templates. We had to solve for 3 use cases. One is the getting started use case. We need to enable new users to get started quickly without having to create the pages from scratch. The second one is about centralized control and automatic updates. We want to ensure that administrators can lock key settings, and when they do want to make changes, that these changes are pushed to all the linked booking calendars. The last use case is complete enforcement of template usage. If we don't want users to deviate from the settings that the organization has dictated to them, we can enforce that the only way for them to create booking calendars is through templates. So these are the 3 use cases. And with templates, like the obvious place to start is with large accounts. If you have a large account with many users, then definitely it's a no-brainer to use templates. But it is not only for large accounts. You can have multiple pages even in small accounts. For example, accounts that have multiple meeting types, or accounts that use multiple location and availability combinations. We have multi-location availability. For example, you can have a page, 2 booking calendar pages that are exactly the same, but one has a face-to-face location and one doesn't have a face-to-face location, only virtual location. And you give the one with the face-to-face location to high-value accounts, and you don't give it to other accounts. This is just a small example, but you can have a situation where It's a 3, 4, 5 user accounts, and they still have a few dozen pages. So booking calendar templates can be very helpful in this case as well. What can you gain from using templates? First of all, it's the branding. You can completely maintain your brand in a consistent way. You can control the look and feel of the booking pages and the notifications to the guests. Second is the questions. You can control exactly which questions are asked and also how you save the data from the questions on which object. I'll be showing this in the demo. Third is the standard booking settings. Instead of letting every user decide which booking settings they want, you can decide on a standard set of booking settings, and then everyone will have to use them. It will help the bookings be distributed in a more equal way between team members. And last is the notifications. You can completely control the format of the notifications, the content of the notifications, the timing of reminders, and whether you send email or SMS and in what mix. Another point to cover is page duplication versus templates. You can, in OnceHub today, you can duplicate a booking calendar, also a booking hub. And what the duplication does is it takes the entire settings and just duplicates the page. The only thing that you have to change is the link. You cannot have two pages with the same link. And this is a user level productivity feature. Booking calendar templates are an organization level productivity, a control and compliance tool. They don't duplicate all the settings. We will see which settings they duplicate and which settings they don't. And they still give the user control over their personal preferences. And we will see this in the demo. In terms of who can create templates, so only the administrators and the account owner can create templates. And in terms of enforcing templates, so that booking calendars cannot be created from scratch, only from templates, this can only be done by the account owner. So that was a short introduction. Let's, as I said, let's dive into the product. Okay, so let's actually start from the home page. So I'm in the OnceHub account. The owner of this account is Chief Advisor Henry Host. He's the account owner. And we will start by creating a template. So to create a template, I go to the gear icon here, to the account settings, and we'll click on Booking Calendar Templates. I'll create a new template. Let's call it personal template. So this is a template that will be used when we want to schedule with leads, and it's a personal template for a user. That's how we call it. Okay, so I'm in the template now. And you can see the same familiar sections that you have in a booking calendar, but this is the template. It looks a bit different. You can see here also it says it's a template. So the first thing to see here is that we have settings that are outside the template. They're outside centralized control. The meeting subject, the duration, the host, the availability and location. These are for the user to decide. These are not controlled. The settings that can be controlled are the settings here, the session type, the time frame preferences, time slot preferences, payment collection. And here they can either be locked, so they're under centralized control. So you can see when enabled, prevents user editing and overrides the configuration of associated booking calendars. That's on. If I turn it off, then if the user uses this template, they will be able to make any changes they want here. I'll enable it back. When I enable it, it says, are you sure you want to enable centralized control? This will override all user updates in this section. So if the user is already using this template and the user has made some changes, this will override the changes that the user has made. This is a new template, so no one is using it yet. I'll enable centralized control again. So we are not going to change anything here, just put it under centralized control. I mean, these are basic settings. You probably all know them. Let's save this and move to the booking form. So the booking form also, we can control the entire form and put it under centralized control, which is what we will do, or open it up. And here I want to add two questions. One question that I want to add is a single select question. And this is a question, I mean, this is a template for sales, for scheduling with leads. So there is an important question that I want everyone to ask. And this is, how did you hear about us? So this is the question. And I want this question to be saved on the contact. not only on the meeting. So there is this do more with this answer. If I turn it on, so it will save this answer to a system or custom property, so it can be used in CRM integrations, meeting notifications, and third-party systems. And I need to select an object. So I'm selecting the contact object. And when I select the contact object, I need to select a property. I need to create a new property here. So I want to show you, before I create this, I want to open brackets here and go to Objects and Properties. I'll open it in a new tab. So what is Objects and Properties? It allows you to create custom fields on objects. So we have 3 objects: the contact objects, the meeting objects, and the conversation object. When a meeting is booked, all the data that we collect by default is on the meeting object. But because we're asking, how did you hear about us? It's not relevant to the meeting. This is persistent data that we want to have on the contact. So on the contact object, I can create a custom field, a custom property, and call it source. And this is what we're going to do here. So going back here, I'm going to create a new property. I can do it from here. I don't need to go to the contact and objects page. So it's going to be a click single select. I'll call it source. That's the identifier. And how did you hear about us? And in terms of values, I'll say search, AI, magazine, conference, and word of mouth. Okay, so I just created the field, and here is the field. So the field is created on the form, but it will also be saved to the contact object. And this is something that if you just let every user do their own thing, they may not save it on the contact object. They may just add the field and that's it, and it will be only on the meeting object. So the fact that I have a template and I can control how I save the fields, it allows me to also control how the data is saved. And then, of course, I can analyze it once it's saved properly. So that was one field that we added. The other field is additional guests. Save, so I didn't save that. So let's add additional guests. That's another question that I would like to add. Additional guests. Okay, that's here. Yep. The additional guest question allow you to allow the person that's making the booking to add additional guests. For example, if the wife is making the booking, she wants to add her husband or a colleague. Someone wants to add a colleague. They can say, okay, what's the email address? What's the name? And what is the relationship? So that's the additional guest. I want this field always to be in the form as well. So I want prospects that are making a booking to be able to add their colleagues. So I'll save that as well. So that's the booking form. It is locked under centralized control. Let's go to the notifications now. The notifications, again, they can be locked. Here we'll keep them locked. You can customize the calendar event. You can customize all the notifications. I want to customize the notifications. And what I want to do is I want to add the logo. So the company, we are Retire Well, and we have a nice logo. So logo, I want to centralize it. Just make it a bit smaller. Yeah, so we've added the logo. I can add it to all the notifications. I'm not going to do it now. You understand the idea. Okay, and I'll save it. And next, we're in the page designer. So in the page designer, you can see that there are settings that are outside the template control, like profile image, headers, welcome message, and social links, because they belong to the specific user. What's under centralized control is all the corporate stuff. So we can add the images or gradients or even videos as backgrounds, and we can add logos. So let's do that. Let's add an image. And this is the Retire Well, an image of the Retire Well office. So we can make it a background. We can add a logo. Let's add the logo. We can control the button color. Let's use the green, a bit darker. Yeah, in color, we can control the opacity, the booking pane here, so we can see the logo in the background. In terms of footer, we have a disclosure. This disclosure we're going to add. Okay, you can see the disclosure here. This is a WYSIWYG editor, so you can see how it looks in desktop. You can see how it looks in mobile. So that's it. The template is ready now. So we can go back. You can see that's the sales personnel template. It's not used anywhere now. It's a new template. So let's actually go and create a new booking calendar and use this template. So I'll go to booking calendars. I'll create a new booking calendar. And you can see I have two options here. One is from scratch and another one is from template. And I'll select the sales personal template. Let's call it Meet Henry. And that's the meeting with Chief Advisor Henry host. And this is the booking calendar. So you can see the sections that are locked. So this section is controlled by the template manager. So what can Henry do? He can change the subject, the duration. If he doesn't want 15 minutes, maybe he wants 15 minutes, that's fine. That's up to him. A host and co-hosts, because we need to add him as a host. And the availability and location. So the availability and location can either come from Henry's profile or it can be customized specifically for the page. Click on scheduled meeting availability. I'll open it in a new tab. And this is Henry's availability. We can click on edit. Here you can see the multi-location availability. Every time block can have availability which is virtual or by phone or physical location. You can have multiple physical locations. Even the guest can suggest a physical location. And the virtual video conferencing is going to suggest to the guest all the video conferencing tools that are connected to your accounts. So that's how Henry can say on each day which locations he wants to provide. Thursday and Monday, he works also in the office. Other days, he works remotely only. So that's his availability. Just wanted to show that. So that's it for the booking settings. Save. Let's save it. Booking form is all locked. So there's nothing Henry can do here, but you can see the additional guest question and you can see the single select question. How did you hear about us? The source. In terms of notifications, this is also locked. It was locked, but we can see the preview of the email and you can see the Retire logo here. So this is what we customized. And this is the page designer. So these are the corporate branding elements that we've added. Here, Henry also needs to add his own picture. That's his headshot. And we can say Henry post. Let's just say advisor. And we leave this message as is. Yeah, all this is locked. Everything here is locked. Henry cannot touch it, including the footer, the disclosure, the background. These settings are locked. These are the only things that Henry can do. He can also add social links, for example. Let's add the website. Let's add an email. And we can also add the LinkedIn, for example. So this is what Henry can control, and this is what he cannot because it's controlled by the organization, by the templates manager. Let's do one last thing, which is to customize the URL. So let's call it Meet Henry, like this, and save. And let's open this page. Okay, so this is the page. You can see the multi-location availability. You can see everything that we've customized. For example, if we want to meet face-to-face, then you remember that Henry only offered availability on Monday and Thursday for face-to-face. Let's pick this time. And I'm going to make a booking. So I'm Gloria Guest. And that's my email, gloriameetingguest@gmail. And you can see here the question, I can add additional guests. So let's say that I want to add a colleague. So the guest full name, let's call it Charles, colleague. I think I spelled it wrong, never mind. The guest email address is, let's do it like this. And the relationship, yeah, I'm spelling it wrong, but never mind. Okay, so we added an additional guest, and you can see here the question, how did you hear about us? Search AI, let's do word of mouth, and let's schedule. Okay, that's it. The meeting is scheduled. Let's go back to the account. Go to the activities, and this is the meeting that was just booked, and we can see even here the attendees, we can see the additional guest, the relationship. And this is the contact that was created, Gloria Guest. And here you can see the source, word of mouth. So this question is automatically saved to the meeting object. This is the meeting object but because we also added it as a contact property, it is now also saved to the contact over here. And if I go to contacts, this is the contact that was created. Of course, I can see it here on the contact as well. If we wouldn't have saved it as a contact property, then we wouldn't have seen it on the contact. Okay, so we saw so far how to create a template, and we saw how we can use this template. Now let's add a new user, a member type user, and the user will enter into the account for the first time, and we will also enforce usage of the template so that the user will have no choice but to use the template. So to do that, the first thing that we will do is go to account settings, account permissions, and here there is enforce booking calendar templates. I'm Henry Host, I'm the account owner, so I can turn it on. And now that I've turned it on, the only way to create a booking calendar is through a template. Now I'm going to add a new user. So I'll go to users and click on add user, and I'll add the user. So this is the email, and the name is Mark Member, and the role is a member. It's Henry meeting host plus member. Yeah, we'll assign a seat to the user. We don't want to make this user part of a team now, and we don't want to assign any attributes, and we'll just add the user. So the user was added. So now I'm going to switch to the user's inbox. Okay, this is the user's inbox, and here's the invitation email, and I'll click to sign up for the first time. I'll sign up with an email. Okay, so this is a member user. Members, they are not like administrators. The only thing that they can do is create their own pages. They don't have too much leeway in what they can manage. This user needs to connect the calendar. I'm going to skip it. Connect the video conferencing, I'll skip as well, and availability, I'll just skip everything. And what we want to do is to create a new booking calendar. The account is empty, there's nothing yet here, and I don't have a choice. I have to select a template. So I'm selecting the sales personnel template. I cannot create a booking calendar from scratch. Let's call it Meet Henry. And the booking calendar is created. So this is a member user, and because it's a member, you can see that the member is already the host, because they cannot create booking pages for others, only for themselves, so they're already the host. There's the title and the duration that they can change, and availability and location. Let's keep it from the profile. Everything else is like we saw before. Booking form, same questions, the guest, how did you hear about us? The notifications. We can see the logo and the page designer with all the settings that we saw before. For this user as well, let's add a headshot. Let's say it's the same headshot, it doesn't matter. And let's just call it Mark Member. Financial planner. Okay, and we also see that everything here is already set, including the footer. So let's just save it. And let's also customize the URL. Meet Mark. Yeah. Let's open the page. Okay, so this is Mark's page. It's a new page. And now what we want to do is we want to make some changes and push them. So from the template, we will be making the changes and we'll be pushing them to the linked booking calendars. So I'm going to go back to the Henry host account, which is this one. And I'm going to go to the template. And there are two changes that we want to make. The first change is regarding the disclosure. So we've expanded and we need to add 4 more states to the disclosure. And it's very important that, of course, all the linked booking calendars are updated with the disclosure change. So I'm just going to copy these 4 states and I'm going to go to the page designer. I'm in the template now. And here, I'm just going to add the 4 states. So the last one was Wisconsin, now it's Michigan. So I'll save. We can also see it here in the WYSIWYG editor. The other thing that I want to do, people have been complaining about this background, that it's hard to see the logo and it's too boring. They want something more natural, more happy, to break the corporate to break the corporate theme. So let's actually add the background video. Let's put something happy, and let's save this. So now if we go to the page, so this is Henry's page. This is Henry host. If we refresh, you can see Henry's page now has the video background with the nice butterfly. And you can see also before the last state was Wisconsin, now it's Michigan, the states were added. Now let's go to the other page. This is Mark members page, and refresh this one as well. And we can see that this one as well is updated with the video background and with the four additional states. Yes, so this is how any change that is made to the template is automatically pushed to all the linked booking calendars. Okay, so that's it for the demo. We can switch back to the presentation, and I think, Aviram, you have a short...
I have 2 polls to run, just to get a pulse on the room before we go to questions and answers. Okay, now that we've seen the power of these templates in action, and thank you, Rami, for the detailed presentation, we want to hear from the people attending the webinar. So I'm going to pop up 2 quick questions. You will see them on the screen right now to help us tailor the rest of today's deep dive. So let's start with the first one. So I'll run the first poll. So the first poll, we are really curious about functionality. So as you look at the structure of a template, we wanted to know which specific part do you see is the biggest win for your daily workflow. Is it the unified booking settings? Is it the standardized form questions? Is it the automated guest notifications? Or is it the brand consistent page designer? So I'll launch this poll right now, and I'll give it maybe 30 seconds. Yeah, I see answers coming in. Please share your opinion. Give it a few more seconds. Okay, I'll close this poll in 10 seconds and share with you the results. I'll end the poll. Actually, the results surprised me. I was quite sure that it will be either page designer or guest notifications. That would be the functional areas where most people will find this useful. Actually, this was a very close race between guest notifications and booking settings. But booking settings came up first as something that people would like to lock or control, and guest notification very close second. So thank you for that. I have another question, and this is, we wanted to look at the bigger picture and to understand which use case is the primary drive for your team to use templates. So what we are asking is, are you looking to get started quickly with new users? Are you interested in maintaining centralized control? Or are you in a regulated space where template enforcement is your top priority? So let me run this poll, and we'll get the answers in a few seconds. So the second poll is live. Please share your opinion. Yeah, we'll give it maybe 10, 15 more seconds as I see answers still coming in. Yeah, maybe 5 more seconds and I end this poll. Okay, I think that I could guess the answers here. And centralized control came as number 1. Getting started quickly, number 2. I know as the OnceHub user myself, centralized control is really, really helpful when you want to deploy changes across many booking calendars. And I think this is what most of you thought is the most useful use case that we demonstrated today. Thank you for participating in those polls, and we'll move to the Q&A session. There were a lot of questions coming in. I'm not sure whether we will be able to cover all of them within the time frame that we have. So just a heads up, if we didn't cover any one of the questions that somebody asked, make sure I'll follow up personally and send you answers for the questions that we didn't have time to cover. But let me start. I'll start with the first two questions. I'll combine them. People asked about whether they can, it's somebody who is already using the duplicate features, so that's good, because not everybody realized that this is a helpful user-level tool. The question comes from two angles. Is there any way to convert calendar to implement the template? And the second part of the question is can we import a current calendar into a template? So to answer this question, the first part is yes, the second part is no. Templates, you cannot take a booking calendar and make it a template. You have to start a template from scratch. But you can apply templates backwards into any booking calendars that you have in the account. So that's about implementing and applying templates into existing booking calendars. I'll move on to another very interesting question. We use meeting reminder emails at 7 and 3 days. We cannot find a way to view or verify where the reminders were sent. Is there a way? Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, and you can do it in the account. There are two ways to do it. The first one is if you have a connected email in your productivity suite, basically you are sending the reminder from your own mailbox. If you send reminders from your own mailbox, you can find them in the sent folder inside your mailbox. So that's one way where you can find reminders that were sent. The other way is to do it at the account level. There is in compliance settings, you can BCC all the sent emails into any email address, and in that email address you can find all the notifications that were sent from the account. So both are viable options to see where notifications were sent. There was another follow-up question to that, and this is, can we have a different form per client? And this, I think that the answer is no. We cannot change the booking form per client. The booking form is an entity of the booking calendar itself.
You'll have to use a different booking calendar with each client. Yes, I mean, we talked about the reasons to have multiple booking calendars. That can be a reason. Yeah.
It's a reason if you segment your customers to groups, and then each group will get a different link or different booking calendar with a different booking form. For example, if for a certain certain type of clients you want to collect information A, and for another one information B. Okay, so that was this question. Another interesting question, is it possible to set our scheduling links so they expire after a certain period of time? We'd prefer that clients aren't able to use an old link to book something later on. So the straightforward answer is that we have the one-time links. So you can send links that expire after one-time use. So that's the straightforward answer. Rami, would you suggest any other option to?
I mean, the pages don't expire. I mean, what you can do is have limited availability, maybe, and then when it's all booked, the page will not be bookable anymore. Maybe that's a way around it.
There are more I think, complicated. I think the one-time link is many times the way that people use to handle this situation. You can also use a booking window to limit the time and then duplicate the calendar and use a different calendar with a different booking window. But that requires a little bit more work.
Maybe it's an idea to show the one-time link. I mean, maybe people don't know where it is. If you click the share button on any booking calendar, so you have here one-time use, and this link is basically a one-time link. You can just copy and close And that's it, and you have it. If I'll now take it, it's the same booking calendar we had before. I can make a booking. So that was the booking, and now I'll refresh this again. That's it. It's no longer valid. So it's good for one booking only.
There was another interesting question about, is there a way to turn off notifications after somebody confirmed that they will be in the meeting? So that's an interesting question. The answer for that today is no. There is no way to do that. But I'll follow up on that. That's a very interesting item that we are looking into in our roadmap. So definitely would like to understand those use cases better. Maybe there are a lot of questions. Maybe I'll take one last question and the rest I'll follow up via email. Rami, the option to allow clients to assign a unique meeting location is newer to booking calendars. Can you talk about it?
To allow the clients to provide a location.
Yeah.
It was always possible also in booking pages.
So I'll follow up with this question in via email later on, just to show exactly how it is done. Maybe last question that we'll take for today: how many templates can we use? So for that, the answer is there is no limit. There is no limit on how limit on. Again, the idea with templates is actually to limit the points of control, but there is no limit in how many templates you can add to the account. Okay, there were many more questions. I'll follow up on those via email. And I want to thank Rami, and I want to thank everyone for the participation. Hoping to see you in follow-up webinars. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And if you do need any help, please schedule a meeting with us. We'll be happy to help you with any additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you.